How to get 10 signed contracts in just 30 days. Guys, if you're looking to get 10 deals a month, 10 signed contracts, I am going to share with you exactly step-by-step how to do it today. What is up? My name is Zach Ginn.
Rick Ginn here.
And combined 5,000 wholesaling deals together. And what I could tell you is we've done a lot of wholesaling deals. We've taught people to do way more of those wholesaling deals. And we've helped a lot of people scale up 10 deals, 20, 30 plus deals a month. We help a lot of people get to $1 million plus. And we help mostly people get to 6 figures first, right? And what we're going to do today specifically is show you how to get 10 signed contracts in 30 days. There's something very special about this live stream. We're also going to show you how to go from no money at all. So you're absolutely broke, or heck, you might not have even done a wholesaling deal yet, and how you can start scaling your way up to 10 deals or 10 signed contracts in under 30 days. So this is truly a live stream for everyone. If you're looking to go from 5 deals all the way up to 10, or you're looking to go to 0 to 1, this is going to encompass everybody today. And that's kind of the point today. We're here to get everyone rich. I can give you my promise and your promise, hopefully, that we are going to leave everything on the table. I'm not here to give you some secret information. Only if you did this, then you'll know the secrets that I'm going to just, it's going to be quiet unless you do this or that. No. None of that stuff. Everyone knows I give out everything for free, and that's what the point today. So guys, we're excited today to break this all down and get 10 signed contracts in 30 days. If you are excited, ready to go to give you everything you need to know about wholesaling for free, we're still the only ones that do it. We're the only ones that have a complete wholesaling course. There is, not throwing shit at gurus, there's just some people that said they were giving a free wholesaling course. Then they got clowned because it actually wasn't a course. It was just a funnel to pay for a $10,000 course to actually share with you. So they changed it from course to, what do they call it? They called it a getting started guide. So like officially there's other guys. So there's a free course, but they changed it to a getting started guide because it actually wasn't enough information. They got clowned so bad for it. So you go to freewholesaling.com. It's all in there, and it's going to share exactly how to get going into wholesaling real estate for free. So without further ado, let's break this all down. Let's get into it, and let's share how to get 10 signed contracts in under 30 days. So as something that's helped a lot of people get to it, we're just going to break this all down and get it going. So the first thing we have to understand is to get 10 signed contracts in 30 days. We have the mic a little. There you go. To get 10 signed contracts in under 30 days, there's one thing we have to master first. All right. This is very important. And this is the problem I think a lot of people, this is how our generation works. My generation, people my age, right? 24 and below. We want money and we want a lot of it, but we don't want to work for it, but we also want it tomorrow, right? We want all this money. We want to get it quick, and we also don't want to work hard. That's how. So, like, if you're watching this video and you're my age, you're my generation, like that's what you want. This is what you're expecting. This is not the video for now. 30 days. Whoa, that sounds pretty short too. And we'll actually show you how to do it. Here's the problem. There is a cost to it. Okay. There's a cost to getting that much money in a short amount of time, and that cost is honestly your sanity. That's the honest truth. You're going to have to work hard. That's the dang truth. Okay. If you want to get a lot of money really quick in the wholesaling real estate space, really there's no other side hustle that does this. You are going to have to work hard. And I'm not just going to like, everyone in wholesaling does this. Work hard, bro. Be a hard worker. Get rich like me. Rah, right? You get all that, right? That's not what we're doing today. We're actually going to show you what you have to do, like how many leads, appointments, contact, like we're actually getting the nitty gritty, like information numbers today. Because yes, could agree with that. They're going to be like, well, you hop on a call and we'll discover, we'll figure it out. That's not what we're doing today. We're actually going to give you actual information that works in my business and everyone else's business. So 10 signed contracts in 30 days. The first thing we have to understand is we cannot get 10 signed contracts like that. We have to focus on one thing, and that's getting one deal a month. Let's focus on that first contract. All right. Where the rich, you saw Sound of Music had this, like the first million is always the hardest, right? It's honest truth. The first deal is always the hardest. And once we get that first deal, the second deal gets easier. Third deal gets easier. The fifth deal gets easier, right? I've said this example a lot, but it's just like a rocket ship. When you are traveling on a rocket, I know everyone here's a rocket scientist, but when you travel up the atmosphere gets thinner the higher up you are. That's why you're in Denver. It's hard to breathe when I go there. So that means the more you're traveling on the rocket, the higher you get, the easier it is to travel a mile high in the air than it is on the ground. That ground to the mile, that's where most of the fuel is for a rocket to go up. Same thing in wholesaling real estate. The hardest part is just going from the ground level to like 1,000 feet in the air. And that's where it's got to take most of the fuel and the power and the energy to get it there. And same thing in wholesaling real estate. The hardest part is you just getting up. Okay. That's going to take most of the energy, because once you're up in space, it's easy to go, right? And so that's the point, guys. We have to focus on getting that first deal, right?
Yeah. And you said earlier, and it's like, what are you willing to pay to get 10 deals a month? What's it going to cost you? And honestly, most people never even evaluate that statement. It's much more than money. Like, just put money aside. You're going to have to get wildly uncomfortable. You're going to have to do things you never dreamt of doing. I'm not talking about anything that's physically going to hurt you. Everything's going to change in your life when you do this. And the problem is, most of you try to keep everything the exact same and work under your broke personality traits. God knows I had them. And then you try to do this new thing, wholesaling. What's it going to cost you? It's going to cost you everything. But like, honestly, what do you really have you're holding on to? I'm not talking about losing your family or doing anything like that. Are you willing to put in the real work? And by the way, busy means you're broke. So I don't want you to be busy. You have to be effective. So I promise you, if you take this journey, the house you live in, I guarantee will change. Your bank account's going to change. Your friends are going to change, and your family's relationships will go much deeper. You guys think change is a bad thing? I'm just telling you, it's actually a really good thing. The hardest part in this journey is you're going to fight it. And the more you fight it, the harder it's going to get. So if you need to get that initial acceleration, it's called momentum. You really, in my opinion, have to go all in. You got to have a plan. You got to do it, because you are going to face challenges, obstacles, people that get in your way. The question is, do you have the thrust to get off the ground? And are you willing to give everything? If you are, this is actually, once you solve that part, you can move forward, get instructions, and actually follow through on a plan in wholesaling like we're going to teach you today. But guys, what are you willing to pay? What is it going to cost you? And if you don't answer it with the word everything, and you're going to pick and choose, well, I want to keep my exact friends. I want to keep this the same, and I don't want to get uncomfortable on the phone. It doesn't work that way. And that's the struggle most people have in wholesaling. You either have to commit or just run it as a hobby. And most people feel miserable in this business when they try to do a hobby. So if you want to go all in, understand the cost. And if you know it and you evaluate it up front, it's much easier to make your decisions as you go through your wholesaling journey.
Exactly. So let's break this all down. One deal. That's what we need to focus on.
One.
Then guess what? We go to 2 deals a month, 5, and then we eventually get to 10. Okay. That is what we're focusing on today. All right. So like, I'm not telling you just get 10 instantly. All right. Like, you're going to probably spend 80% of your effort just getting that first deal. And then it gets easier after that. And here's the weird part. It's like, I could start a new market tomorrow. I get the first deal like that. That's going to be my hardest one. But after that, it just gets easier because you focus more and you understand it. So let's just focus on deal number 1, right? And we'll get into the scaling part too. No holds bar. We're going to break it all down. But let's focus on this first. Focus on 1 deal a month. All right. That should give you what, $5,000 maybe? Like that's pretty good. It's not bad. It's like, that's what we're going to do. That will consistently get you to $5,000 a month. And so what's the marketing like this for your first deal? The marketing's simple. I just being honest, like, you go to freeholding.com, you got all the information you need. You can do government lists, drive for dollars, you just SMS those, reverse drive for dollars. You do paid lists, you go smszack.com, listari.com. You can do any of the paid softwares, right? Like, there's a million ways to do this, right? Direct, man, like, there's a millions of these, but the honest truth is you just got to market. And there's really just one important part of your marketing, get in front of these sellers and doing deals. Just talk to more sellers. And so if you're watching this right now, and I think there's a certain demographic right now that are just struggling to become successful, they're struggling at their first deal. That's completely okay. I'm not saying you're the majority if you're struggling starting as a beginner. That's everyone who starts anything. They're always going to struggle. We just got to get past that hump and that struggle. And so we got to just focus on talking to more sellers. Make that a goal. All right. So I think a lot of people think we got to do an analysis of the market and get all this perfectly. And you want more deals? Talk to more sellers. That's it. That's the secret. Talk to more motivated sellers. That is the point. And how do you talk to more motivated sellers? Market more. When I talk to somebody on these one-on-ones, and we're doing one-on-ones today. I love the one-on-ones. And most people, they're working at it. They're doing well. We had another guy on, made what, 20, 30 grand last month. Like, we see all these people. We love it. But we also get people that are struggling. Can't get my first deal. I need just talk to more sellers. What do you mean talk to more sellers? Market more and get in front of more people. The more contacts you get, the better chance you are to become successful in wholesaling. You want to be better at shooting 3-pointers? You should probably practice more. I know it's really stupid to say, but I'm like, wait, no, you don't understand. I don't want to practice more to get better at shooting my 3-pointers. I just want the secret technique for it to just sink in every time. You're not going to be an NBA level basketball player in under 3 hours. I hate to tell you. it's like 3 hours a day for the rest of your life, basically, just working out. Like that's what it takes. And the truth is, as much as wholesaling does take, and it doesn't take your money, it takes your time. It takes the intense effort of actually practicing and getting better and actually doing the work. If you put in the work, it will take the work and it will give you something back amazing. But you have to be willing to do it. A lot of you guys, you're trying to skip the little shortcut. I've never promised you the shortcut. I've never. But what I'm going to do is show you exactly what to do. Take the regular road, not the shortcut. You'll do well.
Shortcut's the longest route, by the way. And it's the most expensive one, too.
It is when you fail. And when you're struggling right now in wholesaling, I'm going to have a candid conversation with the people that are actually struggling right now. There's honestly it's talking to more sellers, but talking more sellers leads to this one thing. So there's actually in wholesaling real estate, one metric, only one. Okay, I'm talking to people, let's try to get one deal. When you're struggling right now, there's one metric I look at for anyone on one-on-one, anyone that's struggling to get deals or they just can't get deals or struggling hard. I only ask them one thing. I don't ask them how many cold calls they made. I don't ask them how many lists they pulled, how much money they spent. I don't ask how much money you spend in marketing. I don't care. I don't care how many skip traces you've done. I don't care what fancy schmancy guru program you're in. I don't care about any of that stuff because it absolutely doesn't matter. There's only one thing in wholesaling real estate that matters. If I know this number, I know exactly how much money you probably made, roughly, okay? If you're not doing deals right now, it's because you have a lack of offers. That is the truth. Straight up facts right now. You do not have enough offers. And so everything leads to offers, really, until the dispositions part. If I market more, I get in front of more sellers I get in front of more appointments, more signed contracts, and those contracts come from me giving offers out. And you have a lot of more signed contracts, you can bring those to cash buyers. Hopefully your offers are low. There are exceptions to the rule. You've seen this, I've seen this, that like, sure, you give a ton of offers, but your offers are terrible. Like they're at the MAO, they're not lowball, right? There are those, but for the vast majority that can calculate roughly an MAO, know what a lowball from our course and stuff, okay, you're probably not making enough offers. And I would frankly say, and I've always said this, and this is a mean term, but an offer a day keeps the guru away. And what do I mean by it? I've said that a lot, and I think it's kind of funny, but it's absolutely true. If you can make one offer a day to an actual qualified, motivated seller, you don't have to do any guru. You don't have to deal with any guru. You don't have to deal with any YouTube. If you could just focus on making one good offer a day on a qualified seller, you get a lot of deals. That's how you get 10 deals a month. Just FYI, like if you have 30 qualified sellers, like I want an appointment, I want to get rid of the property, right? MCTP passes it. Our team could probably, if they're bad, get 15 contracts from that 30, right? 50% close rate on an appointment.
Easily.
And heck, I think I'm at like 70. And it went down to 60 because I just went on more appointments, later on because we just more leads. And I decided not to be like a sniper, just machine gun approach. But you could get 15 like that. I don't think that people understand that. If you have a good seller and you give an offer, there should be over 50% chance you get that deal sold or you get the deal locked up. And so it's all about the lack of offers. And I'm not telling you to make 30 offers a day. I'm talking about like one good offer a day to a motivated seller that will give you consistent wholesaling deal. And so we just got to start thinking about this. If you have no deals, lack of offers, you got to start focusing hard on this. So how do you do this? Fix your lack of offers with an abundance of contact. What is a contact? Pretty simple, right? It's getting your message out to a seller. That is what a contact is. Simple. So if we're getting no offers out, we're going to go back to this contact. So when I talk to people and they're like, Zach, I'm cold calling 6 hours a day, brah. I'm not being successful. It's like, what do you want me to say? Oh, you're doing 6 hours? Oh my gosh, I feel so bad for you. Do you want a tissue? You want to cry in the corner? No! I don't do that. I go straight to it. How many contacts are you making? Let's look at the data. I don't cry about things. Oh no, you 6 hours. Oh, boo-hoo. I don't do that. How many contacts are you making? That's not enough. Or wow, you actually are making enough contacts. So something's up with this. And then we get into the data and we figure something out, right? I'm like a doctor, My belly hurts. It's like, if your belly hurts, that could be like 30 different things. One thing that's really urgent and one thing that's like, oh, just a tummy ache, right? Like I got to understand. Right. And so if you're not getting enough offers in, you got to get more contacts. And contact is just when somebody answers the phone or somebody sees your message, a message as simple as, are you interested in selling the property? Are you looking to, if you have a list of an ugly house on a government list or a high equity or a vacant or lien or a pre-foreclosure, and you ask them they're looking to sell and they say hello on the call, that's a contact. You make enough contacts, you're going to get appointments, deals, things like that. I mean, I've never had probates where you talk to 100 of them and none of them want to sell the house for cash, right?
Yeah.
It's like about, I would say 15%, if I'm being really nice, entertain it. All right. 20% would probably entertain it too. But a lot of them want the most for the house. But the ugly houses, man, they want to sell them. They're great.
Yeah. And guys, the reality is if you take the number of contacts and you multiply that by your output, your effort, it's going to lead to offers. But like before we even get into the mechanics of like what exactly you do, the list, the pool, the marketing medium, if you don't have a tremendous quantity of contacts and you don't take the action, don't worry about the rest. It ain't going to work. You have to marry those two things. So like when someone reaches out and comes on here and goes, Rick, I called 20 people. It's like doing 1 times 0. You're not going to get anywhere with that. You have to up the numbers. So number of contacts, which always comes back to, what do I say? Quantity cures a lot of inexperience in wholesaling. And number 2, you actually have to take the action. Anybody who has high quantity takes a ton of action and are consistent, they always win in wholesaling. But the minute you try to tweak, if you want to do effort without the number of contacts and you go, oh, Zach, I made 200 calls, you're wasting your time. So you want to make sure you have a ton of quantity contacts, and then you have to have a massive amount of action. And when you do those two, everything we're about to teach you is going to work so much better. But no matter what I teach you, I could drive you to a motivated seller's house and drop you off. But if you're not going to go knock on the door and talk to them, it doesn't matter. This is the same thing. Okay. I've never met someone that didn't have a large amount of quantity of leads and they took a tremendous amount of consistent effort. They always get through it and they find deals. How many? I don't know. You know, that's variable. And by the way, for you people go, how many calls do I have to make to get a deal? Stop. Listen to the quality of the questions you're asking. That's a personal decision. Not me or Zach could ever give you that answer. So you're just wasting time with that question. Question is, how many are you willing to do to get your first deal?
It's not calls, it's contacts. Like I said before, if you call 1,000 calls and only 10 people pick up, you're only as good as the people that picked up. You're not as good as the calls you made. Yep. And that's usually a skip tracing problem. And we'll talk about that. But getting your message out, contacts. Do you see how I'm not saying, oh, texts or calls? No. Contact. And a good contact rate for cold calling is going to be between 10, 15, 20%. If you get really good at it, 25%. But I don't think it's going to be above 30. And then anything below 10 is usually not good. If we're in the single digits of contacts for cold calling, it's bad. So roughly we kind of know from there what it usually takes. From my personal experience, 300, 400, 500 contacts should get a deal, depending on how good of a list you are, but that's how it ends up usually. Now, we also really want to go after really motivated sellers. I think this is something not a lot of people do. Like, we're talking about first deal here too, right? You got to be going after really motivated sellers. Do you actually want to go after sellers that need to sell a property? What do you mean need to sell a property? There's people that want to sell a house, and get people, he might want to sell. No, I need to sell my house, right? These are going to be lists you can get anywhere, right? Like I've told you, government lists.
Everybody wants to sell a house. Only a few need to sell a house.
It's like, who are people that need to sell a house? First and foremost, you got water shut-offs. I've said this forever, but like, if the water ain't running in the house, you can't go number 2. You probably don't want to live there. You got to get out of there, right? You got some kids or whatever. Your electric can be shut off. It's hard to live without electricity unless you're Amish. Don't want to be doing that. Fire damage property. I mean, if the house is burnt to a crisp or half of it's burnt, you can't really live in it. It's not healthy. They need us to get rid of it. Evictions, they don't have to, but for their sanity, probably mentally for the evictions, they need to. Probates, they don't want to live in the house. They need to get rid of it too. There's so many type of properties where people just have to get rid of it. Probably the biggest one of this are going to be pre-foreclosure. That is going to be the biggest list of people that have to sell, because if they don't do it, they lose the house, their credit shot, all these things. And you want to help these sellers out. Basically the pre-foreclosures, the evictions, fire damage properties, water shut-offs, properties that need to sell. They're great. Arrest records. I could talk about this forever. But this is a big list of people that need to sell the house. You got people that are getting a DUI. They're going out 5 years. They're going to prison for 5 years. They need to get rid of the property, because they'll probably sit there for 5 years. They're going to lose equity of just sitting there. Mm-hmm. And like, these are people that need to sell. And here's the problem. Most wholesalers are like, I'm too good to deal with an arrest record. I'm a professional. And like, these people are human beings too, and you need to help them out, and they own real estate, okay? Either you do it or someone else is going to do it. But like, these are lists that you need to be going after. And I can tell you, probably you are not going after these type of lists. You are not doing this because you are too good or it's too much work. Guys, are you okay with where you're at right now, doing what you're at in wholesaling if you're not getting the results? Make a change. It's what you got to be doing. Paid lists with the right filters are really good too if you want to get the right sellers. ListREI.com is great with this. ZachData.com is good for this too. Those are the two websites we recommend. That's Bash and PropStream between you and me. I mean, they're both pretty comparable with each other. I don't think one's like insanely better than the other. So I just give everyone the options. You can get free trials to both of them. So you check which one you want. But honestly, they're great. They got the comping, the vacant lists are pretty much the same. The high equity is pretty much the same. Proption's got lists that are special too, but Batch is better skip tracing and sometimes better demographic data. So it's like, which one? We're going to do a big analysis video on it later because I don't think I've done it in a while. But honestly, paid lists with the right filters are great, but you just got to use the right filters. Free wholesaling course, freewholesaling.com. We break down the filters you need to be doing. That's how you do it. But let's talk about that. Like, that's how you get your first deal. Okay. Then we get the deal 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Like the first deal is the most important part. And like I've said, when you have no money, okay, no cash at all, you just got to do that first deal. So if I got no money, I'm going to pull a government list. I'm going to cold call them. I'm going to skip trace at cyberbackgroundchecks.com. Let me repeat myself, cyberbackgroundchecks.com. It's a free website to get anyone's phone number for free. It's a scary good list, cyber background checks. And on top of that too, I'm either going to cold call them or SMS text blast that list. Simple as that. That's how you get your first deal in the quickest amount of time possible. Heck, 14 days, 10 days, you could probably get it done that quickly. On top of this too, you got no money. Once you get that first assignment check, now you got 15, 20, 25 grand. Are we going to the club with it? Like, what are we doing? Are we hang? No, we're going to use that money to reinvest it back into wholesaling. And there's only really one thing I can tell you. Like we got 30 days to do this. There's only one thing I can really think of. So when you got no money, let's spend no money to get the first deal. Then we got 10 or 15 grand to work with. We're going to do one thing. So there's only one thing I can call the steroids of wholesaling real estate. And I haven't really talked about this term much, but it's like a steroids of wholesaling real estate. So you think of wholesaling as like weightlifting, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you get jacked? Everyone wants to get jacked really quick and they don't want to like work out that too hard. I wish I could tell you it's not possible, but I mean, you could take steroids, right? And like that, but it's very bad for you. You don't want to do it. And so there's a big cost to doing steroids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wholesaling real estate has the special sauce. They have the steroids of wholesaling, but it does come at a great cost. Not bad though. What is it? It's direct mail. I cannot tell you this. There's no better analogy. Direct mail is basically the steroids to get 10 deals a month. If you want to get deals quick, you pull a list, press a button, and get inbound hot sellers calling you.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a better one than direct mail, right?
Yeah.
And there's a cost, but we're going to tell you what it is. The cost is money. Okay. Like it's very expensive,
but it's legal.
Worth it.
It works. And like for anybody says, oh, direct mail doesn't really work. Nobody does the mail. It means you don't understand it. And the last place you want to take advice from anybody in direct mail that's tried it once and quit, because that's if you try anything once, you're done. So that can go with anything like you shouldn't be touching or things you should be touching. The reality is I tried direct mail. It didn't work. How many mailings you did? I did one and it flopped. It's a 3-month. It is a commitment. Also, a lot of people try to like edge the math out of in direct mail. The reality is if you start out with a campaign of like 2,000 a month, and I always recommend start light, then you can grow, but you can't take 2,000 and go, okay, now I'm going to do 10,000. And then I'll do 20,000, keep doubling your business. It doesn't work that way. You actually have to have a plan, a program, and a systematic way to do it, or you can go broke because you don't know what you're doing. But when we talk about putting steroids in wholesaling, honestly, here's the truth. Show me any major wholesaler in this country, and I guarantee you every one of them do some form of direct mail, hands down. So if all the big people do it, you know it works, and they get an ROI on it. So let me ask you, if you put in $1,000 and I told you you're getting $3,000 back, would you not do it every month? It's the same thing with direct mail. So when you look at the biggest problem when you start out with direct mail, as me and Zach teach, is you look at it as a cost, and it's the wrong way to look at it. So if you're going to put $2,000 or $3,000 in direct mail, you should be going, that's my opportunity cost to make my extra $10,000 or $20,000 or $30,000. So when I spend money on direct mail, I feel guilty because I know if I don't spend it, I'm missing out on that extra $50,000, $60,000 of income. And eventually, once you train your mind through that type of sequence, you don't look at it as a pure cost. When I first did direct mail, I go, you got to be kidding me. I got to write a check for like $3,000. That's scary. After a while, you increase your financial muscle and you go, you know what? I got to invest that $2,000 so I can make the 10 grand return right away. And then maybe you do $4,000, maybe you make 15. It doesn't correlate exactly, but I'm telling you guys, it's legal too. We talk about all these issues with some of the other methods. As long as you pay for the stamp, it's always going to be legal. And you cannot go to jail and you cannot be arrested for sending a solicitation in the mail. If that was the case, Domino's, Bed Bath & Beyond, although Bed Bath & Beyond's out of business, probably not a good example. Guys, people get crap mailed to them all the time. Why? Not only because it's annoying, it's because it actually works. Do you really think we would do direct mail if we were losing money? Absolutely not. That's why I don't do Facebook ads. That's why I don't do advanced PPC, just because the cost and the return on what I do in my markets just doesn't work in those. In direct mail, 100%. It works. So just keep it in mind, and we'll show you where to check that stuff out at.
Yeah, guys, direct mail, it's wholesaling on steroids. You click a button, inbound leads come in all the time. Now,
we don't want you guys starting out on direct mail. If you have limited funds and you don't have any experience in wholesaling, I'd rather you cut your teeth on a highly motivated list and figure out how to talk to sellers. And then once you start making money doing deals on your own, then you can reinvest that money, and then you can jumpstart your direct mail campaign to scale your wholesaling operation.
That's why we put it on after deal 2. This isn't for deal 1. So deal 1, no money, get some money, and then put it in direct mail. So direct mail, do it. Guys, we use the ROS postcard, the one we always talk about, because if you use a regular direct mail piece, it's going to be only half as effective. And that's the point. Now, if you want to learn how to do direct mail, we have it's a free, literally, honestly, not screw it. Just go to mailingmastery.com, put it in the URL right now, and just see. There's just videos. That's all it is. It's like a playlist of videos on a private server, because YouTube actually they didn't approve it. They didn't approve these videos because private data and stuff. So literally, if you go to mailingmastery.com, it'll just put you straight in. It'll put you straight into it. It'll just put you straight in the course, and it's a free direct mail course. The problem is, outside of us, you and I, there's not one direct mail course on the internet that is free, that is complete. And it's scary. Each one's to learn how to really do direct mail outside of us, it's about $4 or $5 grand. What we decided was, we love direct mail so much, kind of a labor of love. We decided we were just going to create a course on how to do it, and then how to use our specific postcard. A very special niched out postcard, but I do recommend everybody go to mailingmastery.com. Let me show you one reason why in Mailing Mastery. Even if you don't do direct mail, I want you to go to Mailing Mastery. There's a couple of videos in there where I'm going to tell you the honest dang truth. YouTube does not allow me to have that I think is really valuable. So let me show you. Let's go to mailingmastery.com for a second. So this is mailingmastery.com. There is so in mailingmastery.com, there are these worksheets you can download, budget, marketing plan, harvesting, all this cool stuff, criterias, pretty cool stuff in here. I got some really cool conversations on here too. This was a $50,000 deal right here. And I can't show the clip. I'm going to mute it. But pretty much, this was me at the deal. But basically, I'll put a second of it.
And the pool has a...
All right, I can't put any more because YouTube will not allow me. But I got a couple of these live conversations in here. And they're on the playlist too inside the course. But I would listen to some live seller conversations of me doing it. With ROS and the postcard and stuff like that. But I will recommend to you guys, make sure you go inside of it. It's free. Even if you have never done direct mail, just watch me talk to sellers live. It's pretty cool. Also, there's some, in the ROS conversation, I have some other live sellers I've recorded in there I showed. But Mailing Mastery is how you learn direct mail for free. But if you're going to do that, go do it. But once you get to one wholesaling deal a month, I don't know what other thing. I've repeated this a million times, and I will continue saying this. Once you get this first deal, whatever worked, do more of that. Double down. That's what else can we tell you? Like, so if you did SMS and you SMS'd a code violation, you did a deal, I'm going to tell you, you should SMS more code violation. We are not. This is the big problem I think a lot of wholesalers have. They strike a little gold and they decide to go to a different area. No, if you found gold in this specific area, keep digging around. There should be more. It's the easiest way to do more. The problem is, a lot of you guys, you'll strike some gold and they're like, okay, I'm going to go to another area. And no, keep going that area, right? That is the point. Wherever you get your first deal, whatever method, keep hammering that. That is the easiest way to go from 1, 3, 4, and 5 deals. Straight up. Double down, keep going crazy on it, then add more, test things out, and find out more. And eventually you start doing more marketing, you start doing more deals. I mean, you're going to figure it out. It's going to just be about 10 signed contracts in a month. Eventually you can get to that point, but you got to mix in some direct mail. You got to mix in some cold calling that's been working. Just scale it up even more by doing more cold calls. Regular SMS by doing even more SMS text blasts. And you keep going from there and you'll do very, very well. The truth here in wholesaling real estate is, if you really want to get those 10, 20 signed contracts a month, you should be about the 10 to 20 appointment range, right? About 10 to 20 appointments should get you those 10 signed contracts.
Yeah,
now,
10's
10's perfect, but I'd say 20 if you got a 50% conversion rate, maybe a little more if you want to get nuts with it. But that's really all you have to really be focusing on. I think a lot of wholesalers, they get so stressed out over this. But if you could just convert your contacts and get deals for doing that, you'll do well in this business. And so really, like one really easy part I use in my brain is just like, you just got to convert 1% of your contact for a deal. That is it. Like I've done the math for direct mail. It's going to be way less than that with a contact. But really, if you send 200 sticky notes out, all you have to do is convert 1% of them to get some deals, right? So 100 sticky notes, just convert one, you'll get a deal. Simple as that. 100 of them, calls, get the appointment, get it done, right?
It's a numbers game, guys. You got to get the quantity, you got to put the action in it, and then it's like an exponential force when you do it. But if you miss either the effort or the quantity, it doesn't matter what you do, you're just going to be busy and broke. So remember, we're not in a contest to see who can be the busiest in wholesaling. Honestly, you guys do wholesaling because you want to cater it towards your life, because you want to get financially free, and most important, freedom of your time. And the last thing I want you to do is sit there and be busy, because you guys know busy people. They're the brokest people you'll ever meet, but they're so busy because when you're busy, you're trying to justify what you're doing because deep down, you know, you're not cutting the mustard. So people want to appear busy. When I see super busy people, I know a farce when I see one. So don't be the busy person. The best people in wholesaling are the ones who are most effective. So in the beginning, you're going to probably run around with your head cut off a little bit. I would expect that. But at some point, you have to settle down. And don't be that person that tells everyone how busy you are, because nobody really cares. And if you think they do, that's probably the biggest part of your problem. So just be effective. You're not paid hourly. You're not paid a salary. You're paid based upon your effort, your actions, and the amount of leads that you have.